Well, I think first of all, Will Lonzo and Josh have clearly shown that they can be very important focal points on a team that goes into the playoffs. I think they are playoff caliber rotational pieces for sure. What we need to do here is build championship caliber teams and do it in a sustainable way. So our approach to going into the offseason this year is the same as every offseason. We need to sustain success and continue to add pieces that can be part of a championship caliber rotation. And we feel very, very strongly about both of those players, and we hope they feel the same about us.
Hey guys, I can't make this up. You just heard David Griffin lie out of his teeth. How are you going to say that you feel strongly about these two players and say that you're trying to build for a championship level team, but Lonzo and Josh Hart are only playoff rotational pieces? I didn't make that up. You just heard it come out of this man's mouth that you believe in these players allegedly, but you called them in the prior sentence only playoff rotational pieces, and you're trying to build a championship level. You didn't say they were championship level pieces or whatever, and you said you hope that you believe in them and you hope they believe in you. I can't make this stuff up. I didn't twist none of his words. I didn't do no clickbait. You heard it out of the man's mouth himself. Talking out of both sides. I don't even think he realizes he does it. That's how bad it's gotten with David Griffin. Oh my God, he's just horrible. So we got the snake oil salesman himself, David Griffin. Let me repeat that. David Griffin is a snake oil salesman. David Griffin to me reminds me of a politician. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. They say one thing and they do the opposite. Their actions say something, their words say something else. Like, it's so crazy. If David Griffin wasn't a basketball GM or the president of basketball operations, he would be a senator, he would be a lawyer, he would work as a politician, because he's really good at mumbling his words, like just a snake oil salesman. Very mistrustful, very distrustful. I would not trust David Griffin. How do you insult your players on your team that brought you this far? Listen, I tell people constantly, time and time again, right? You do not draft 2 point guards back to back if you have faith in your current point guard. If Lonzo Ball was part of the long-term future or the long-term vision of this franchise, you would not draft Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the first round, and you would not in the next draft Kira Lewis in the next round with the first round pick. Listen, guys, I had to argue with people on my channel over this specific topic. They would say, oh, well, teams just draft players. Listen, if you draft where you're deficient at, right? You're not deficient at the point guard spot because they love trying to play Brandon Ingram at the point. Now they're trying to do this point Zion thing. So why are you keep drafting point guards if you have faith in your current point guard? The thing is, they don't. I remember earlier in the season, oh, Lonzo Ball's the point guard of this team. Oh, we're going to let Lonzo run the offense. This is Lonzo's team. What happened to all of that, David Griffin? What happened to all of that? Why would you draft 2 point guards back to back if you had faith in Lonzo? The thing is, he never did. He would say one thing out of his mouth and his actions would show something completely different. And I would have to argue with people on my channel in the comments. Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, the franchises just draft players. No. It was clear from the beginning, since they were trying to trade Lonzo at the trade deadline, that they were trying to get rid of this dude. And it shows. Don't forget, guys, JJ Redick already exposed the type of person that David Griffin is. All the things I'm saying is not coming out of nowhere. There's players that have played in this organization that have dealt with David Griffin that are saying the same thing that I'm saying. He told JJ Redick, hey, listen, I know your family's on the East Coast. We'll put you in a situation that's closer to your family. And of course, I'm going to get people on my channel saying, yo, listen, David Griffin doesn't care about JJ Redick's personal life. David Griffin is trying to do what's best for his team, trying to do his job. Cool, but you can be transparent. You don't have to blindside a player, a veteran, right? Maybe you want to do that to a rookie, one of these new guys, whatever, right? But to a veteran that you signed in the offseason, right? You're going to do him like that? Burn bridges like that? JJ Redick already exposed the type of person David Griffin is. David Griffin will tell one thing to you and do something completely different. David Griffin will pander to you. He'll tell you exactly what you want to hear and then go behind your back and stab you. That's the type of person David Griffin is, and it shows through his actions. Again, listen, there's so many politics, so many games being played that it's just crazy. And just a life lesson, never go at what somebody says, always judge them by their actions. What do they do? Not what they say, but what do they do? And JJ Redick already exposed the type of person that David Griffin is. How are you going to tell JJ Redick, hey, we're going to put you in a situation on the East Coast, right? And then bring him even farther from his family. And it's not that he did it per se, but the fact that he did it so sneakily. So snaky. Real crazy. Listen, I'm tired of this David Griffin trying to turn Zion Williamson into LeBron. If you guys didn't know, that's what David Griffin is trying to do. David Griffin is trying to change Zion Williamson into a LeBron James. Remember, David Griffin was the GM when LeBron was playing in Cleveland, and it seems that he's trying to turn Zion into LeBron with this whole point Zion thing. You know how LeBron is a big, like a small forward, a power forward that plays like point? That's what they're trying to turn Zion into. They're trying to do the same thing with Zion. And listen, you can be skilled at a lot of things, but Zion Williamson was not drafted into the league to be a point guard. Listen, Zion Williamson is efficient in the post. He's probably the most efficient post player the NBA has ever seen. He's athletic. There's certain things that he does great, and there's certain things that he does good. Being a point guard, Zion Williamson can probably do good, but what he's great at is that post play. So this whole turn Zion into a point guard, it's very clear that that's what they're trying to do. In fact, that's probably the basis of why they hired Stan Van Gundy. If you listen to the whole interview, he says, hey, part of our coaching selecting process was finding a coach that would turn Zion into a point guard. Which is kind of crazy because you already have a point guard on your team. In fact, you have a pass first point guard in Lonzo Ball. So if you have a pass first point guard in Lonzo Ball, why would you want to make Zion into a point guard? I just don't get it. And this whole point Zion thing, this point Ingram thing, people have short memories. The beginning of the season, the ball was sticking like glue in Brandon Ingram's hand because they wanted to turn Brandon Ingram into the point guard and have everything flow through him and him make the decisions with the ball. And the team was losing games. Try to do the same thing with Zion. How many games did we win when Zion's too busy dribbling the ball up the court instead of being in the post or doing whatever else he's best at? Not what he's good at, but what he's best at. Point blank period. They need to stop with this whole point Zion nonsense. If Zion wants to run point sometimes, cool. Zion has to point guard the whole game. They're just going to lose more and more games. Why don't you have him do what he's best at? The same thing with Brandon Ingram. They're trying to make Brandon Ingram into something that he was not, right? Let Brandon Ingram work in the mid-range, take the shot he wants. That's where he excels at. He can play point guard if he wants to, right? But he's best as a scorer. He wasn't drafted as a point guard. Zion Williamson wasn't drafted as a point guard. Let them do what they're good at. Well, not what they're good at, what they're great at. And let them do what they're good at sometimes. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you necessarily should. And that's the lesson learned here. Another thing too, which surprised me, David Griffin not trusting Lonzo Ball, having no faith in Lonzo Ball, being a snake towards Lonzo Ball. I already knew this. This isn't news to me. What's news to me is how he betrayed Josh Hart. Because when Josh Hart first came into the organization, they had a convo where, if you look back at their interviews when they first came onto the team, he said that Josh Hart wanted to be long-term in this team's vision, this team's success, as he was devoting himself into New Orleans. He liked the situation and he was excited to be there. And every time David Griffin had mentioned or talked about Josh Hart, it was always positive. We like Josh Hart. We're looking forward for him playing with our organization. So for him to kind of backstab Josh Hart with Lonzo saying, hey, listen, well, these guys are playoff pieces, but they're not championship level players. That's crazy to say to somebody that was on your roster, that put up their body every single day for this team, that rep the Pelicans. For you to say that they're not championship level players is crazy. That, hey, listen, any team that wants these guys, you can make it to the playoffs, but these aren't players that you can win a championship with. It's crazy and very telling. Very, very telling. And I'm surprised that he did Josh Hart like that. I don't know if Josh Hart and his representation have talked to David Griffin, and the number that Josh Hart wants is not what the Pelicans want to pay him, so he's kind of throwing him under the bus at the same time. I don't know what it is. Him speaking down to Lonzo like that, I already knew. When you drafted those 2 point guards back to back, when you tried to make Brandon Ingram a point guard, when you tried to make Zion into a point guard, when you tried to let everyone else be a point guard on the team, I knew what the writing on the wall was for Lonzo. You never cared for Lonzo. Lonzo was just another piece to add into the Anthony Davis trade to make it more lucrative, to make the deal go. But they never wanted or liked Lonzo Ball for whatever reason. Again, David Griffin betrayed Josh Hart. And the last point, David Griffin is a key reason why the Pelicans have not made the playoffs. Instead of surrounding Zion with shooting, instead of getting a proper 2 guard, instead of Eric Bledsoe, for whatever reason, people forget David Griffin was the GM at the Phoenix Suns when Eric Bledsoe was on the Phoenix Suns. So that's where that little connection comes from. He's infatuated with Eric Bledsoe. So instead of getting a proper 2 guard, you got a point guard, another point guard. Remember, in the summertime, we were loaded with point guards. We had Nickeil Alexander-Walker, we had Kira Lewis, we had Lonzo Ball, we had Eric Bledsoe, we had George Hill, we had Frank Jackson. We had so many point guards. We were loaded in the point guard spot. So for him to make incompetent decision after incompetent decision, the only good deal he made was the Steven Adams trade. Steven Adams trade was good. I argue with people all the time, but listen, you need somebody to go against Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You need a big man skilled enough to go against those guys, and Steven Adams can do that. Can he score like that? No, but that's his role, to go against the Rudy Goberts and to bang someone skilled enough to bang with those big guys, right? But again, he didn't surround the team with no shooting, and some of these pieces have been questionable at best. So, in my opinion, he's going to ruin Zion Williamson's career, because the Pelicans are still going to be lottery team after lottery team after lottery team. How many times are you going to make the same excuses? Oh, defense, and oh, the team is young, and this and that and that and that. Listen, Zion Williamson, when he hits free agency, he's going to leave, just like Anthony Davis, or maybe he'll force a trade because he's going to be wasting his talents in New Orleans and not accomplishing anything. It's not a mystery that Anthony Davis left and won a chip. The franchise is incompetent. It's just a lottery franchise. And David Griffin is playing and operating the franchise like he hasn't won a chip before. The Pelicans are going to be a lottery team. It's clear as day that Lonzo's going to walk. They're not going to gain anything from Lonzo Ball. They're just going to let him walk. Same thing with Josh Hart. However he visions the team, I don't see a long-term success with that. I think there's still going to be a lottery team next year and the year after that, and they'll probably try to trade Brandon Ingram or whatever. But David Griffin is a liar and a snake oil salesman. But again, do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think David Griffin is a liar? Do you think that I'm bugging? Is it not that serious? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's your boy For All to Envy. Don't forget to hit that like. I'm out.